It's always hard being the first session of the last day because people slowly appear. The answer to this question is quite straightforward. It's that we haven't got it right. So why haven't we got this right? Why do we still need a session on diversity? So we know the problem with gender, religious, cultural and wealth inequalities. We know the benefits to society and the individual for greater inclusivity and diversity. So why is it so hard? What are the stumbling blocks to achieving appropriate equality and diversity? There are many blocks to true diversity at many layers. Our colleagues, medical unit structure, medical societies and federations such as us, hospital administration, local governments and state and federal governments. So all of those levels impact on diversity. But our influence on each of those levels diminishes towards the higher levels of administration. So we have a reasonable influence over our colleagues, medical unit structure, maybe a bit of influence on medical societies and federations, but very little influence on hospital administration, government, etc. And yet, all of these changes really have to start at government levels and filter down. So we have a bit of a problem. So with colleagues and medical unit structure, there are issues with competition for training and consultant posts. Rostering in our medical units doesn't often take into account different circumstances, on-call and night duty conflicts, jealousy and perception of favouritism, and head of unit perception that one person may be better than another. So various comments we've heard over the years, and you all know, we don't want her because she may go off and get pregnant. She can't do night duty because she has to look after the kids, so the males have to do all the on-call duty. Moving up, medical societies, federations, diversity needs to be seen. So we need to make sure that we have diversity in our executive and board positions, conference conveners, speakers and moderators. Hospital administration have to look at the lack of support for job sharing, the lack of support for maternity leave and childcare. They need to be aware that there is a bad perception that males may be more reliable for on-call, and that biases in appointment to head of unit are certainly there. Colleges, governments, various societies and federations need to look at hospital funding for doctors on maternity and paternity leave. But there is little support, unfortunately, for part-time training and job-sharing positions, and little consideration for flexible examinations and training milestones. So where are we at the moment? I attempted to survey our members over the last few months, and unfortunately the replies were fairly limited. In general, however, there is some variation between countries as far as diversity opportunities. And awareness of diversity and inclusivity is improving and opportunities are improving. But the common response for my survey really relates to maternity leave and difficulties balancing training, work commitments and childcare. So some of the quotes that came back from my survey: as a mother, I have to acknowledge that I'm not able to compete with my peers. I don't have the availability to travel carefreely for work or for leisure. I have to miss out on opportunities that are not compatible for my young family, such as going to conferences, missionary trips, or writing papers. Other quotes: although flexible training is advertised as available, it's completely inaccessible for this trainee, who must find both a candidate to job share and a hospital that will create this arrangement for them. So the pressure to find support actually drops back to the trainee. I saw my baby an average of 3 hours a fortnight when I was working on a call at a busy trauma job, and there were never any allowances or considerations for my family position. I can't be a good mother and a good trainee. Something has to give. There's a concern that if I go on maternity leave, the workload will increase for other colleagues. A delay in sitting the exam will directly impact the timeline to promotion as a specialist. Not every mother has a supporting partner with the time to help with childcare. Not every pregnancy is a trouble-free walk in the park. And not every new baby is perfectly healthy and trouble-free. So it seems to be, at the moment, whilst things are improving, that the problems with maternity and its impact on training and job positions is a major problem at the moment. So we need flexibility in hospital and training positions. And this flexibility requires a commitment and funding from those who finance hospitals, appointing trainees and run the training programs. So that's really up to the various colleges and hospital administrators who have to sort this out with our guidance and pressure. So Asia Pacific Federation of Societies of Surgery of the Hand represent 2.4 billion people. So this Asia Pacific region holds over 1/3 of the world's population. We are the most diverse region in the world with respect to race, culture, religion and wealth. But we still need to improve diversity in medicine and surgery. So we still need, as a federation and a region, to improve on inclusivity. But we are in an ideal position to lead the way. This starts with awareness of the many problems and then working towards appropriate action, removing barriers and antiquated perceptions and mentoring. So hopefully, as more enlightened members of the APFSSH and member societies advance into leadership and administrative positions, these issues will be addressed. But this does take time. So, to answer the question again, when will we no longer need a session on diversity? It's when we see equity and equality everywhere to a point where it becomes normal. When diversity and inclusivity become part of our nature and we just don't have to think about it. When old entrenched ideas and behaviours have changed and perhaps old men have retired, and this probably will take 1 to 2 generations, but it's worth working towards. There are some fabulous organisations advancing the cause of diversity and inclusivity. The Asia Pacific Federation is a member of the IOTA Alliance, and I would encourage all your member societies to join these groups. A few months ago, I was in Finland for the FESH meeting, which happened to coincide with Pride Week in Finland. And I was wandering around the university and came across a sign which I think sums up our aims. And that is, diversity is natural. It's just the way it should be. Thank you.